Last part of your IELTS essay is conclusion paragraph. There's the last part. Now, what is a conclusion paragraph? The conclusion is the final paragraph of your IELTS writing task 2. It brings your essay to a neat, logical, and by summarizing your main ideas and restating your position. We're going to study that. Think of for example, it's a mirror image of your introduction. Your conclusion, Claire, it's a mirror image of your introduction. It's the same thing, like the way we study about introduction paragraph. Now, this is the mirror image of your introduction. It reflects the same ideas, but in different words. You just want to conclude that. So, key facts about the conclusion. Point number one, conclusion paragraph is the shortest paragraph. This is the shortest paragraph of all your main body paragraph 1, 2, and introduction, main body paragraph 1, main body paragraph 2, and then we hit conclusion paragraph. So it is 1 to 2 sentences only, sometimes 3 if added a prediction or recommendation. But prediction and recommendation, these sentences we will study later on, they are totally, these are optional. If you want to aid, you can. If you don't want, no problem at all. Ideal length, Claire, for this part, that is 30 to 50 words. If you remember, we studied that your introduction, it should not exceed 50 to 60 words. Then your main body paragraphs, 80 to 100 words. But now, when we study about your conclusion paragraph, so conclusion paragraph is all about from 30 to 50 words, not more than that. Never longer than your body paragraph and your introduction. Most of the time, what we do, we include we include data, what we have already mentioned in main body paragraphs or what we forgot to mention in main body paragraphs. So we keep writing in the conclusion. So if you want to introduce a new idea in the conclusion paragraph, so what does it mean? That it doesn't remain your conclusion paragraph, that becomes your third main body paragraph. So in conclusion paragraph, we never introduce new ideas. Never ever. We only summarize what we have already written. So keep in mind that in conclusion paragraph, never introduce. If you introduce new idea, what you haven't discussed, and you keep writing in the conclusion paragraph, so it becomes your new main body paragraph, not the conclusion. And if there is no conclusion, so it means your task achievement hasn't been completed and you will score low band then. So what did we study? Number one, this is the shortest paragraph, clear, and ideal length, clear, 30 to 50 words, and then time you may spend, clear, 2 to 3 minutes only. You should be finishing the essay, and then we can start our conclusion paragraph either clear and conclusion. You can start with and conclusion, or you may start with the introductory phrase with to conclude. Either you can say in conclusion or to conclude. The only two linking phrases, okay? These are the two linking. Don't use overall, don't use in general, in a nutshell, never use them. You have two clear, these two phrases, linking phrases. Either you can start with in conclusion or to conclude. And as I mentioned, never introduce a new idea. Without a conclusion, you will be scoring below 6 because for your task achievement. So you will have below 6 band, clear, for your task achievement part. Why? Because you don't have conclusion. One of the paragraphs is missing. A good conclusion improves score for task achievement and coherence and cohesion 50% of the total marks. So now let's talk about the formula you can use here. This is the formula for conclusion. In conclusion, clear, we start introductory phrase. In conclusion, this is your linking phrase. In conclusion, after that, we can restate your opinion or position the way we did in your introduction. And after that, summarize main points. So 3 points are more than These are the 3 points, key points in your formula. First of all, you may start with in conclusion and then state your opinion or position and then summarize your key points. Why a good conclusion is important? We want to study about this. A good conclusion will neatly end the essay and gives a sense of completeness. Link all of your words, ideas together, show coherent organization, sum up your argument or opinion, clear reinforces your position, and then answer the question, proves you have addressed the task, and leave a strong final impression on the examiner. So conclusion, the formula what we have already studied, Claire, let's talk about the two components of a conclusion. The first component, which is essential. This is important. The first component is essential. The second component, that's optional. We'll study both the components. Component number one, Claire, the summary sentence. This is the most important part of your conclusion. It restates your main opinion. The first part, it's about the main opinion and summarize the key points from your body paragraphs. You do this by paraphrasing your introduction. You can just only paraphrase, as I told you, Claire, your conclusion is it's the mirror image of your introduction. You can paraphrase the introduction, not copying it, Claire. Don't copy it word for word. Like, don't copy the introduction, but you can write it in different words. How to write the summary sentence? Let's have a look at. Look at back your introduction. First of all, what was an introduction? Your thesis statement and outline, what we have already studied. And the first part, outline, Claire, 2 reasons. Restate the same idea using different words, synonyms plus restructuring. To start and conclusion, to conclude, keep it 2-2. So what can be the secret trick? If you have written a good introduction, writing the conclusion is easy. Your introduction says what your essay, look, this is very important. Your introduction says what, Claire, your essay will discuss. Because you haven't discussed it yet in main body paragraphs. So you're going to introduce, Claire, you're going to talk in the introduction part that what your essay will discuss. And your conclusion says what your essay did, Claire, discuss. For example, introduction part, it talks about what? That what your essay will discuss, but the conclusion says what your essay did discuss. Same ideas, same different words. Just paraphrase your introduction. Let's take an example. For example, this is my introduction part. It is argued that students should be taught real life skills like how to look after money. Now, this is the statement. This essay agrees that they should be part of curriculum because everyday competencies benefit people later in life, and not being taught how to manage money at an early age can lead to dangerous consequences in adulthood. Now, can you see there are 2 parts? This is your thesis statement, and the first part in your introduction, this is your paraphrasing statement. Now, to write conclusion for the same introduction, what we can do, we can start with an conclusion. In conclusion, this essay supports the idea. Now, over here, we have supported, right? We have said that the essay agrees. So if it agrees here in the introduction part, if it agrees. So now in the introduction portion, as I said, it agrees. So if it agrees, so in the conclusion paragraph, this is your conclusion paragraph. So the conclusion paragraph, it supports. So same idea, but in different words. The idea, the teenager should be taught functional subjects. Functional subjects like financial planning. Now, like financial planning, and if you just focus the question here, the essay agree should be part of curriculum because every day, so they haven't even mentioned like how to look after money. So how to look after money, so we have changed that. We have changed to what? Financial planning. Because. Why? And here we have written here, this is the because. The same part. Because everyday competencies benefit people from later in life, and we have because it helps them in adulthood. And if you just look at here, later in life. So you mentioned later in life. So instead of that, we have written what? Adulthood. And a lack of education. And can you see not being taught? So not being taught how to manage money. So we have written what? Lack of education related to this topic can have serious consequences. Can have serious consequences. So can have dangerous consequences. So now if just compare both part, both exactly as I told you, Claire, that your conclusion is the mirror image of your introduction. This is the mirror image of your introduction. But can you see? Same thing. But your introduction is a bit lengthy, Claire, than that of like 50 to 60 words. But now over here, the conclusion paragraph is the shortest paragraph. And the same idea we have interpreted, Claire. We have mentioned the same idea, but in different words. This is how we write down. But in conclusion paragraph, as I told you, we just only summarize. We never introduce new ideas. We haven't introduced any of the new ideas. Same ideas we have, summarize it, Claire, the introduction portion. This is how what we call. Now, if you come notice the paraphrasing part, students, we said teenagers, real life skills, functional subjects, look after money, financial planning, later in our life and adulthood. This essay agrees, this essay supports the idea. Then it comes about the second component. The second component is about prediction or recommendation sentence. This is the second component, but this is an optional. As I told you, this is an optional. Why is this an optional? This is something extra. And when we can write it, this is something an extra, okay? This is an optional extra sentence that you can add if you need more words to reach 250. For example, you completed your conclusion paragraph, but you feel that you're short of words. 20 words, 10 words, 15 words. You have completed 235 words and you're short of 10 words. So in that case, what you can do, you can either present prediction or recommendation statement. But this is optional. If you believe that you have already completed your words limit 250 or 260 or 270, then no need of writing prediction or recommendation. So it is not required for a good score. It's not required. But to complete your words, then you can mention at the end. Two types of like we can give Claire this component when we call prediction, and the second one is recommendation. Prediction, what do you think will happen in the future? And recommendation, what do you think should Claire happen in the future? For example, prediction and recommendation examples. It is predicted that there will be a steady increase in young families moving to country locations in the coming decade as parents seek more relaxed lifestyle. So it's your prediction. Recommendation is recommended that government should improve public health, public transport, and provide affordable housing to encourage young people back to rural areas. So only you can add only one. Only add a prediction or recommendation if your essay is under 250 words. If you have already reached the word limit count, leave it out. It won't earn extra marks. Better to spend time checking clear grammar and your spellings. Let's take example for this one. This is your question. And how to write down the conclusion paragraph. Can you just first of all, read the question and then conclusion paragraph for the opinion type of an essay. And this is the formula. Start reading it, please. Hello. Like charger ಮಾತಾಡೋಳು with your laptop. Once you are done, let me know. We have started already with what? In conclusion. This is the formula. Then the second part, restate your opinion and then summarize two reasons. So have you summarized two reasons? This is the first part. Now, conclusion is the shortest and never include any new idea, as I mentioned earlier. Now, this is the discussion essay. Read first of all the introduction, and there's the conclusion. Comment, acknowledge both views. Acknowledge both views and restate your opinion early, clearly. So there are two parts, Claire. There are two parts. So read. So these are seven common mistakes, Claire. Number one, problem number one, introducing new ideas. Introducing new ideas, conclusion should only summarize, no new points. So only restate, Claire, ideas already mentioned. No, a new idea taso 8 it means it doesn't remain your conclusion paragraph, it becomes your new. Yeah, repeating introduction word for word. Word for word banishi repeat kawale. Clear? You can just use different using different synonyms and structures. Huba huba ganake agawa mukhtalif fi the introduction. As I told you that your conclusion paragraph is mirror image of your introduction. Writing too much, 100 words, no. Waste time. Conclusion should be brief. 30 to 50 words, that's more than enough. Not writing a conclusion at all. Always write a conclusion, even if running out of time. Write one sentence, but write it. Using word clear, wrong linking words like finally, never use that. As I told you, you can only use, you can select among these two. Between these two, clear, there are two, so you can select only one, either in conclusion or to conclude. Then it comes about being too general. General banilike. It has to be very specific because summarize your actual arguments. You can't write anything by your own. Changing your opinion, never change. Come چې تاسو thesis statement کې څه لیکلی او هغه thesis statement به تاسو دلته کې څه کوئ. You need to carry that. So now let's start taking the good conclusion and bad conclusion comparison. We have started with finally, and I told you never start with. In my opinion, education is very important for everyone. The government should spend more money on it. Also, technology is changing the way we learn. Children should spend computer more. In a nutshell, education matters. Finally, then we have introduced new ideas, technology, and as well as computers. Nudam galat sho. In a nutshell, you have mentioned clear, so it's informal, never use. Too general, doesn't summarize specific arguments, and it's too long. Good conclusion. In conclusion, I strongly believe that government should allocate more funding to education because it improves employment prospect and develops critical thinking skill essential for modern work. No de kita suguri tasura bilkul 100% concise and perfect conclusion rage. Final checklist you should know about this. You start with in conclusion, to conclude, restate your opinion, summarize any of the points of the main body paragraph, did not introduce any new idea, paraphrase the topic, not copied, and keep it 30 short, only 2 sentences, 2 minutes, and my conclusion opinion matches my introduction opinion. That's an introduction key, you disagreed, in conclusion you agree, or in conclusion you introduction you disagree, in conclusion you agree. That's totally wrong. No, that's also main body paragraph. This is how like we conclude. I'm taking your questions if you have, please.